What impact did the film Babylon have upon you?
If I remember rightly, it reinforced my romantic view of black. I'm going to call it black resistance because I don't know what it was then. Was that they were basically cool. They were cool guys. I really was taken by Beefy. There's something about Beefy there because he was more of a Cockney, white type black. When I say white, I don't not accuse him of being white, but a lot of the white culture, he had that. Whereas a number of the other main characters, they were more clearly Jamaican in their sort of behaviour. I could relate to that. But I know it's going to sound strange, but it was cool. They were cool.
So why could you relate to Beefy? Because of the way in which he was talking?
I grew up predominantly on a white council estate, and a lot of my black friends who came from Jamaica grew up in that white council estate, and we were dominated by white community, whereas a lot of my black friends from places like Brixton, they were in a predominantly black group setting.
So do you want to say a little bit, where did you grow up in London?
It's a notorious council estate called New Addington. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's massive. It was basically a dumping ground from Croydon Council for all the post-war clearances. They created this huge council estate in the middle of nowhere, and they dumped all the poor families, and that's where a lot of, because they were usually, as I understand it, only rehoused if they were statutorily obliged to, so a lot of poor black people were also sent there. So you can imagine it's quite strange when people came over from Jamaica and other parts of the world, they would tend to gravitate together, but when the state intervened, maybe through good reasons, I don't know, they were dumped together. So we were all sent to this massive white area, almost as a mini group. And I was a kid, don't forget then, so I don't really know how it really happened.
And what was your heritage in terms of, like, where did your family come from?
The father, my understanding, my father was a Jamaican, Windrush Jamaican. My mother was a Chinese of that generation. They came over, lived in Clapham, Brixton and Clapham. They were part of the spreading out of black people who moved out to Thornton Heath and South Norwood. And because they lived in the slum, when the council did intervene, I actually remember this. We were all in this really bad room that had water everywhere. As a kid, I can remember that. And we were rehoused firstly in a temporary place, I think in South Norwood, I remember, and then we were sent to New Addington. So that group of black elders or older people who were mainly my father's friends, because my mum's completely, utterly isolated, being a Chinese Jamaican, she had no friends at all. They were mobile. They all seemed to have cars, from memory. My dad was a drug dealer, by the way. They all seemed to have cars. So they used to communicate with each other because they were mobile. So my father would quite often go to Brixton. But Thornton Heath, there was clearly an active network of black friends.